Welcome back to another episode of Deep Dive with your host, Jeffrey John. That's me, I'm Jeffrey John. Alongside me tonight, I got Kenneth Michaels, aka the Bowling Ball. Kenny,
I'm here. You're just cutting out a bit.
stupid ass, get better internet.
Why don't you get better internet, you fucking moron?
And alongside me tonight is also Bean Bean, the Mean Bean Machine.
You're cutting off so hard, dude.
Bean, get better internet
Uh,
as well.
nah, dude, you get. We have the same internet company, bro. I don't know what's going on with yours.
Gonna shut up?
Yeah, duh,
We gonna do this now?
no.
Live stream,
Uh,
live TV. You
I'm,
wanna do this now?
I'm still talking, bro.
Put your dukes up.
You wanna go?
Yeah, I'll go right now. You seem to be hearing me
No.
fine now that you want to hear me.
It's true, dude.
All right. On this
Man,
episode of Deep
you sound
Dive, we're
like my
going
mom.
into detail talking about free agency. Did you hear all of that?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So let's talk about it. A lot of good free agents this upcoming offseason. These are the expected lists now. I'm just going to scroll through it. You guys can see what I see, right?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm going to scroll through it just to kind of give you guys a heads up of who's might be here. Remember, each team has the opportunity to sign one of their free agents and bring them back to their team before they hit the pool. So these are all like potential. Bobby Johnson is a user player. Ryan Garnett is lighting it up from three right now for A-Town. Not anymore now that they're eliminated, I mean. That's one team. Here's the other. Khalil Fox. Probably the biggest name out here right now. And in my opinion, Nate Dickerson's out there too. Like, honestly, he might be one of the biggest names in my eyes. I love me some Nate Dickerson, a former Stallion. Vince Hart, another one from the Stallions. The
A lot of
Stallions,
Stallions players.
yeah, the Stallions are in the finals right now, but they're losing Khalil Fox, Vince Hart, Lonnie Olson, Mo Booker. All Stallion players
Oof.
hitting free agency.
I could use me.
That's a lot.
It is.
In this other list, probably, honestly, the biggest free agent this season has got to be this one right here, Vern Beard. Would you guys agree
That's a
with
big
that?
one.
Of everybody, I mean, it's an 87 overall user player, and it helps that the user player is a commish. I mean, you know she's grinding her points. I mean, she doesn't know basketball a whole lot, so you're gonna get what you get with her. But I mean, she's out here grinding points, and she puts them into her players. So an
Right.
87 overall user player on the board,
It,
like
yeah, it's got to be up there
that's
in
gonna bring
value.
in some money. So since we're looking at these lists, we're talking about it. Which free agent has you guys the most excited of everybody that I just showed? Walter
So
Wheeler.
it's really tough to decide, but I mean he is the highest overall, so I mean it's not going to be hard to say that he's like argue with it. But the fact that you've got such a phenomenal defender who can play multiple positions is just so different from so many of these other top guys in free agency that if you're a person who needs scoring, you can go out there and find it. If you're somebody who needs three shooting specifically, or maybe you need rebounding, you can go out there and find it. But if you need defense, this is the guy to get. He's the best at it. So you could argue that he might be the most interesting or even the most valuable free agent out there. What do you think?
I'm back. I had to run, grab a new controller battery. Having some technical difficulties. You keep talking about Dan Ryan, 'cause I'm assuming that's who you were talking about.
Yep, Dan Ryan. And when you talk about value in free agency, maybe not necessarily. You're always talking about the top overall guy, but when the top overall guy happens to have a specialty like this, I know there are a lot of teams out there who have scores who would love to get a defender like him.
Yeah, and I'm back officially. So I wanted my controller that way I could open this stuff up so we could go into a little more depth on the players, like you were talking about. I mean, I agree. Dan Ryan excites me as an option, and my reasoning for being excited for Dan Ryan is in this free agent class, you're not getting a superstar. Like you're not going to get a player that will single-handedly lead your team to the finals. I mean, Vern Beard might be the closest. So what I'm really looking for are role players that are going to fit on my team the best, and everybody could use a wing defender that can shoot threes. I mean, okay, he's not a great three shooter, but he can knock them down. I mean, so he's got the ability to put the ball in the basket, but he doesn't take many shots. So I want to say he's efficient at scoring. He's not good at scoring. But bottom line is everybody could use a good wing like perimeter defender. The question is, B, and I'll throw this one to you. Considering his overall being an 88, he's probably going to bring in some money. Like he's going to be worth probably 15, 20 mil. Are you willing to pay that amount for a defensive player?
That is a great question, and I think that depends
Wait,
on your
I threw that to
situation.
Bean.
Oh,
I must have lagged
Oh,
when
it
I
was
said that.
yeah, it was cutting out a
Yeah,
lot.
I'm throwing that to Bean.
What do you think, Bean?
on Vern Beard.
Dan Ryan.
Oh, Dan Ryan. Oh yeah, I'd pay him. Just because my team has a lot of like needs, and he kind of fits all of them. Like I could like that defense. I could use defense, and since he can score, I could use the scoring.
I
Like that.
just don't know if I could justify dishing out 15, 20 million for somebody who only
Uh,
defends.
I definitely could break the bank for Vern Beard.
Oh yeah, that's clear cut. Like everyone's gonna break the bank for Vern Beard. But I'm gonna go back to Kenny's point earlier, talking about how like
Oh, Jackie.
Dan Ryan is the most important, like coveted player. Your reasoning was because of the center position, you can get anybody to fill that void. I agree with that. You look at Cam Mile, you look at Don Maker and how well he's doing for the Bushido. You look at Nate Dickerson, and then my boy, my favorite boy of them all, Rod Roberts.
Rob Robertson. There we go.
He's out there. I mean, you've got a lot of big guys that you can plug in at that center position in free agency this year. So I do agree that I think these guards, the really good guards, are going to go higher.
Yeah, I think scarcity really does prop up value very hard in this free agency because this is an extremely deep class without one of those guys who's just that guy out there, the guy that everybody's going to be bringing in the brink trucks for.
I mean, for example, look at the Assassins this year. I mean, I know them pretty well because that's my team. I firmly believe the only reason I was in the Western Conference Finals was because of scheme fit. Okay, I had Levi McNeil at point driving into the paint every possession. I had Ryan Garnett here and then Irv Bishop right here sitting out at the arc. All they do is catch and shoot threes. Who better to pair with Levi McNeil than a couple of snipers? So, like, the overall to these players don't matter a whole lot. You've got to go back through, watch footage from last season, and find somebody who fits what you do. Malachi Fitz is somebody. He's an 82 overall, 26 years old, only 6 badges. You might not have any interest in him. You go back and you watch Talon's games, and you realize this is a point guard converted to power forward at 6'8". Like, this guy's skill set is unreal. He's like, because he's so tall, The Talons converted him to the power forward last season, but he can ball handle. He naturally is a point guard. I mean, he's not a good ball handler, but he can do it. So you look for these hidden gems with amazing scheme fits, and that could be the recipe for success. Like Vince Hart is everybody's dream. Like just a catch and shoot guy, fast break, all offense with good perimeter D. Nate Dickerson provides you some scoring down low. Let's go through right now and let's take turns with teams. I'm going to give you guys a team and you tell me who you think would be the best free agent signing for that team. Okay?
All right.
All right.
Bean, I'm going to start you off easy. Give me yourself. Give me the Tornadoes. Who fits your team the best?
Everything under the sun, man. Um, you know what? This one's gonna be a shocker to some people, but Rod Roberts. If I could get that man and pair him with Wang, I think that would be a deadly duo.
All right, Lion, give me the Talons. Who fits your Talons team the best?
Ooh, that is a tough question. But personally, I've got to go with Vern Beard. And not just because of the overwhelming value that Vern Beard possesses by being a user player who is extremely active. If it was just an 87 who has what they have now, no upgrades in the future, what the Talons absolutely need right now is somebody who can handle the ball and pass the ball. And that is
I mean,
exactly
and
what
look at
Vern
these
Beard's all
badges.
about.
Floor General, Dimer, Needle Threader, Tight
hmm
Handles, Unpluckable. Literally the two
And
things you said you want.
yeah, and the Talons last year, if you watch their games, there's a lot of problems, but the biggest problem that's noticeable is there was nobody who could truly handle the ball and facilitate.
Yep. I actually like that pickup. I imagine a Vern Beard, and then, I mean, I'm just speculating here. I imagine a Vern Beard, and then let's say somehow a Kai Williams falls to you at the number 6 spot. You've got Vern at point. You got Kai at
hmm
shooting guard. You got Ulf at small forward. Out of nowhere, you've got the most dominant offensive squad in the league. And then you go out and you
Oh
pick
yeah,
up one of these giant centers for cheap, like Don Maker, to throw in the middle, getting rebounds. Out of nowhere, the Talons are for real.
yeah. I don't know where
And they're
you've
not a
got an
joke.
actual starting lineup there.
I'm going to go ahead and do my own team, the Assassins, who I'm looking for. Um, I'm not looking to be big spenders because I have to be careful with my cap because I got Jay Blinko coming up with a new contract soon. I have the number 7 overall pick this season plus the number 12 overall pick. So I've got two more user players that I got to worry about signing. I'm so torn on whether or not I'm going to make a big splash in free agency or if I'm going to hold on to my cap. But honestly, just looking at these guys, I kind of want Mo Booker. Who
Ooh,
doesn't want a crazy sixth man that can score like crazy? Like this guy, I just give him 15 minutes and I know when he comes into the ball game, he's going to take every single shot and get me points off the bench. Right now I have Ali Moon running my bench offense and Ali is just I think Ali's a better starting point guard, more patient, would be a better distributor and when I'm surrounding Ali with non-shooters, it's really hurting Ali. So I'd love to get Mo Booker. You just see how good he's playing in the finals right now for the Stallions. I think Mo would be a great one. Bean, give me the Hornets. Who fit the best on the Hornets roster?
Uh, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Just think.
Maybe
what teammate would you want to come play with
Yeah,
Bean?
you are Bean Shep. Who do you want as your teammate? 5'6" Ricky Parker.
actually, yeah.
Oh, you heard it here first, Carter. Ricky Parker's your target. All right, Kenny, go ahead and give me the River Otters. Travis Price, Harvey Rodman, Russ Hopkins. That's the big three.
Okay, yeah, and they still have Kadeem, right?
Yep. No. Pending a trade, Kadeem Wagner should be on his way to the Crabs.
Okay, so they're also going to be losing Jason Kim.
Yep.
They traded
Honcho's
me
been
Jack
very
Boulder.
Honcho's been very adamant on he has to fix his big man situation.
Um, if I am him, I could take Rodman and I could play him, keep him as my true big man, and then I can go get another guy to stretch the floor like a Nate Dickerson or a Vin Woods. I think that's what he could easily use there because he's going to be losing some defense in Kadeem Wagner. He lost some of that big man depth in Jack Boulder. And I think maybe that's to free up some cap to go after one of these free agent centers.
I mean, the reason I like your idea of Dickerson is because the Rattlesnakes have always seemed like one of those utility teams where everybody like they're not very big, they're smaller, they're faster, but they're big enough to still compete on the boards. And I think at 6'10 Dickerson can do that and Rodman plays physical enough to really compete. I don't think they'd win rebound battles, but I don't think they would lose by enough to like get them out
Yeah,
of games.
yeah, I think either of those players could fit well, but Nate Dickerson would probably be my guy there if I were them.
I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the Bushido.
All right.
They've got Saris Knight. They've probably got Alfie Hayes coming over. I'm gonna assume those are the two. With Alfie Saris, I know they got Travis House. They've got a lot of pieces. They really should be aggressive. And I honestly think Vince Hart would be a great fit to put next to Alfie Hayes. Hart loves to score the basketball. This gives somebody like Alfie can kick it over to Hart, catch it, shoot the three. Hart can untap that scoring potential finally as a starter, getting significant minutes and throwing up a lot of shots. And this gives Alfie another shooter.
So here's a question for you about the Bushido. If you're the Bushido and you decide to go after a target like that, if that means that you can't afford to go out and re-sign a guy who's been playing well for you and Don Maker, do you make that move?
Not sure if the Bushido are sold on Don Maker. Just not sure. I'm not sure how they feel. Personally, after watching Yeti games last season, I think Don Maker's got to come home. He played so good alongside Saris Knight. So, if I have to choose between Vince Hart and Don Maker, I go with Vince Hart because of what you said earlier. The center position is easy to find a 7-footer that can just plug and chug. I mean, Andor Kafka down here, for those that don't know, a 7-footer played for the Warriors last season. He looked good. He had some nice tendencies. Didn't take a lot of shots. Good rebounding, rim protecting. He looked good. So I just think it's easy to throw a big 7-foot down there at the center position and have him succeed, whereas a good guard is hard to fill. I also
That is
think
true.
late in the season, if the Bushido end up sucking, Vince Hart would bring in a better trade value than Don Maker will. Let's do one more team and then call this one quits. Let's go ahead and hit the Alpaca. They traded because I like the thought of this team. They traded away everything at the end of last season. They went out and grabbed KJ Collins. They got KJ, Derek Walker. Those are their best two players. Power forward center position is set. Who do you add to clean that up?
They've got Baldwin.
Yep, they got honestly everything. Like
I think you were right when you were talking about their guards, but Prigioni and Baldwin, I feel like can lock down that point guard position pretty well. Um, maybe honestly like a Khalil Fox.
if they have the money for Khalil Fox. If they could find the money for Khalil Fox, that would take away some of the shots from Baldwin because Baldwin and Prigioni were putting up a lot of shots in the postseason against the Assassins.
Yeah, if you can get a little bit more of a guy, a ball dominant guy like Khalil Fox,
Yeah.
and still trust a guy like Randy Baldwin to keep your offense to humming, because we know he's a good facilitator.
I also, if I'm them, I consider the idea of my team is stacked. Like, I'm top heavy now. Let's fill my depth with good tendency guys that performed well with, like, Rudolph Conley. Get him for cheap. Go out and pick up a Roland Graves for cheap. Try to grab some sleeper players. Jay Moore. He's another catch and shoot guy. You telling me Khalil Fox is that much better than Jay Moore? Like, there are games where Jay Moore can just shoot you out of the gym. Like, he'll suck. And then there are games where he can absolutely light it up.
Hear me out. Hear me out. This is a hot take, right? Right. So I used to have both of those players. So if you
We're going to start. I got to clean this up immediately. You've never had Khalil Fox.
Okay, I've had KJ and Prigioni together.
Okay, that's...
And I won a
follow,
championship with them.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I follow.
All right. 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 So you have Prigioni at the 1. You have a shooter at the 2. You have a defender at the 3, KJ at the 4, and another big defender at the 5, and you should be unstoppable. Because KJ should be able to carry you a long ways, and Prigioni is now a good scorer, so them two just alone should carry you.
That's
And
my
then if
thought.
you have
That's just like I agree with you. I think they're already pretty set. And like you said, Prigioni and KJ, they've done it before. And on that note, Derek Walker has been close before. He was a big part of the Rattlesnakes at one point, so he's played on good teams. Um, that's why I'm leaning towards saying save your money and spread it around the bottom half of free agency and just fill that depth with good tendency guys. All right, that's it. I'm going to call it. We'll do this again, go through more teams for you guys, but for right now, I got to hit the hay. I'll catch you guys in the next video.